Hello, my name is Alexandra Emanuele. I'm the managing editor for GFSR, and today I'm going to be speaking with Marin Pavlic. He's the Director of Health, Safety, and Quality Assurance at Compass Group Canada. We're going to be speaking about something that's increasingly relevant as the world continues to open, and that is food safety at large events. So as we are able to go to concerts, as we are able to go to weddings, there was the Met Gala last night. I'm sure that was a huge event in terms of the food and the dinner service. We're going to be speaking with Marin, who is perfect to be explaining the steps, the standards, the procedures, the preventative controls to ensure that a foodborne illness or foodborne outbreak doesn't occur, and what would the steps to be taking should an event such as that take place. So we're going to dive right in. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this conversation. Marin, what are some steps that are taken at a large event versus a small event to ensure food safety standards are met?
Thank you for the opportunity, Alexandra, first of all. Yeah, so food safety and occupational health and safety are definitely a top priority at Compass Group Canada, no matter the size of the event or the operation run. I'm actually quite proud to work for an organization that has a strong food safety culture that starts at the top. That's where food safety culture always starts. In discussion with our CEO, he always brings up the point that food safety and health and safety, or safety as we collectively call it, are one of his obsessions. And it makes my job easier as a food safety and health and safety professional. So in terms of to answer your question a little bit more directly, for me, it always starts with a risk assessment when it comes to ensuring food safety at a large event or a small event. So it's absolutely key for the FSQA team at the company to undertake that risk assessment. So basically understanding the processes that are going to be taking place at a very granular level. So boots on the ground and understanding, what exactly, what does the process look like? How will the food flow? How will the food be handled, stored, prepared? All of that. So some examples of points to consider is, for instance, are the ingredients being sourced from a reputable supplier? So does the company have a program to ensure that food's being sourced from suppliers who are capable of supplying safe food? It always starts with the safety of the ingredients. If the safety is not built to the ingredients, then everything else after that just falls apart. Then after that, because in a larger event, we'd be usually dealing with premises that may not always be under our control at all times. So this could be a larger, kitchen that we may have not run in the past. So it's making sure that the premises that will be used for that large event are suitable for food preparation in a sanitary manner. And to kind of keep it simple, are the walls and ceilings in the appropriate shape? Do we have any peeling paint? Do we have any exposed pipes, rusty pipes? Is anything going to fall into that food? Our food preparation surfaces themselves can we keep them sanitary? The other important point to consider would be food storage. So do we have coolers and freezers that are sufficiently large, given the volume of food that's going to be served? Are those coolers and freezers able to maintain the temperature? For example, are the gaskets around the doors tightly fitting? Mm-hmm. Things like that, ensuring that we can maintain all our ingredients and finished goods at the right temperature. Do we have the right space for our dry storage? Do we need to manage any allergens at the event? So is the dry storage space conducive to storing the ingredients appropriately so that we're not risking any allergen cross contact in that environment? And again, this just kind of paints that picture around the risk assessment and understanding what the requirements are. What are the points of most likely failure, and then making sure that we control those points of failure adequately. And then I'm just going to finish off with probably the most important one, which is staff training. So at a large event, chances are people will have to be recruited to help out with the event. So it's ensuring, or a portion will be recruited. So ensuring that all staff are appropriately trained in all matters of food safety, but also health and safety.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. So I think that you've painted a great picture of, ensuring that you have all of the steps in place to ensure that there is safety being covered at all your bases. But let's say there is that worst case scenario, and maybe it's an allergen that has gotten through in some way, or a foodborne outbreak has occurred. What are the steps that should have been taking place that maybe didn't take place, like something that's often forgotten in that kind of case, and then post outbreak, what should be done?
I mean, I think this goes a little bit back to my initial response to the first question, which is, any sort of response to an outbreak must be swift. So, and this is, again, regardless of the size of the event. Now, there's certainly differences in terms of the size of the event and how many people could be affected. At a large event, of course, the opportunity for affecting a larger number of people is certainly there, but any sort of outbreak must be taken seriously and responded to accordingly. And again, that's totally in line with the food safety culture that we have, and food safety and health and safety being a top priority for us as a company. But some of the steps to take in that sort of a situation is working with public health to make sure that the causative agent is identified, the causative agent of the outbreak, and then acting accordingly, such as removing the pathogen from the environment. So we would need to understand, is it coming, did it come through the ingredients? Did it come, was it actually was it introduced during the preparation of that food, as part of environmental contamination, for example, and then removing that from service as quickly as possible. And of course, depending, again, there's so many scenarios out there as to how and why foodborne illness outbreak could actually take place. I'm kind of giving you a bit of a broader response to that. Things like preemptive action might be required as well. So if the source of if source is unknown and the outbreak is spreading, we might have certain suspicion where it came from. And in that case, we might, a company might want to look into securing an alternate food supply. So if the situation is completely out of control, then it's a hard stop. And how can we source the food supply from somewhere else until we can determine what's going on and what's happening?
Absolutely. So the pandemic has changed the way that so many people interact in the world, so many functions go through the world. Has the pandemic changed the way that these processes, these preventative controls occur now that you're starting to, have more large events and look at food safety for large events again?
Yeah. So again, safety is absolutely paramount for Compass as an organization. When it comes to food safety, I would say I'm pretty sure it's probably true of the industry at large. There was a lot of focus on COVID-19 and making sure that the associates who work in our environments are safe. We dedicated a large number of resources making sure that happens in terms of either developing policies or procedures, or just support to our units on the ground. Again, this is well known. COVID-19 is not foodborne illness, but in my opinion, COVID-19 may have reframed how our consumers, think about safety. My opinion, consumers are paying a lot of attention to COVID-19 measures at the restaurants, and down the road, I think we'll have to listen to our consumers. I'm still not sure if consumers will want to see more of the COVID-19 measures down the road, or will that be just a reminder and some sort of fatigue will set in?
Mhm.
And they will want to see fewer reminders. I think that will also depend on the particular environments in which the restaurant is operating.
Mhm. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, Marin. That was very interesting. And I look forward to going to more events and feeling secure that these preventative controls and these steps and measures are in place to keep our food safe.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for the opportunity.